Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Rifka Dimamora. I'm from TBI1, my rank number 2320330016. English Education Department, Islamic of University Syekh Ali Hasan Ahmad Ad-Dari Padang Sidimpuan. Here, today I will be reviewing a thesis. The title is The Effect of Now Won't Learn or KWL Strategy on Reading Comprehension of Descriptive Text of the 7th grade students at SMP Negeri 1 Batang Toru. Nah, this thesis was written by Adil Yasari, rank number 21-20-33-00-3 from the English Education Department, Islamic of University Syekh Ali Hasan Ahmad Ad-Dari Padang Sidimpuan 2025. Now, before diving into the critical review, let me briefly summarize this thesis. This research used a quantitative experimental method to examine whether the KWL strategy effectively improves reading comprehension of descriptive text among 7th grade students. The study involved 60 students divided into two groups. 30 students in the experimental class that using the KWL strategy and 30 students in the control class that using the conventional method. Now, the research findings show experimental class score increased from 60.40 to 70.40. Now, for control class, score increased from 61.20 to 69.23. So, with T count of 1,967 exceeding the T table of 1,671. The researcher concluded that the KWL strategy is effective in improving reading comprehension. So, however, there are several important aspects that we need to critically evaluate. Okay, let's begin. In this part, the title is good. It clearly identifies the independent variable, the KWL strategy, the dependent variable reading comprehension, the material, the descriptive text, and the population, 7th grade students at SMP Negeri 1 Batang Toru. One suggestion, the title could be slightly shortened without causing clarity. Now, the second part, the introduction and problem statement. On page 2, researcher identifies the problem based on the pre-interview with an English teacher. It is stated that students at SMP Negeri 1 Batang Toru have difficulty understanding text. However, there's a weakness here. The problem statement is based on only one informal interview without supporting quantitative data. Although the problems are clearly identified on page 5, such as student lacking text comprehension and an ability to identify main ideas, there is no empirical evidence such as students' grade data or preliminary test result showing how severe this problem is. Okay, the top part, the literature review. Overall, this literature review is comprehension. The researcher discussed theories about readings, the reading comprehension, descriptive text, and the KWL strategy thoroughly. So the resources used are also relevant and partially recent, such as a Harmer 2001 Grape and Stoller 2019 and others. However, there are several weaknesses. First, the review is more descriptive than critical analytical. For example, the KWL strategy section. The researcher explains what KWL strategy is, how to procedures work, what is the advantages are. But there is no critical analysis. Why was KWL chosen over the strategies such as SQ3R or think, pair, share, or other comprehension strategies? Now, on page 5, it mentioned there are many other strategies, but there is no in-depth comparative discussion. Second, this literature review cites more books than recent research journal articles. For undergraduate level research, ideally there should be more of primary sources from the research journal. And the third, in the relate finding section, the researcher mentioned for previous studies with all positive results, but there is no analysis. What's the gap and there is no analysis what is the gap, then what makes this research different or necessary, and then this is important for positioning this research contribution within the exciting body of knowledge. Next, fourth, we move to the methodology. This is the important section. Now, the researcher uses a pre-test, post-test control group design. This is appropriate for answering the research questions. Now, however, there's a conceptual error here. On page 36, the researcher mentioned using the simple random sampling by writing class numbers on paper and then putting them in the glass and then shaking them. Actually, this is not simple random sampling. This is cluster random sampling or more random assignment of intake groups. Now, simple random sampling means every individual student has an equal chance of being selected. Now, but here, what was selected were intake classes, not students individually. Because existing classes were used, the design is actually quasi-experimental, not true experimental. So this is important because it affects internal validity and generalization of research results. Next, we move to the research instrument. Now, the instrument consists of multiple choice tests with 25 questions measuring 5 reading comprehensive indicators. And the indicators are clear and measurable. This is good, but in the validity section, there is a problem. Validation was only conducted by one English teacher at that school. Now, of the initial 30 questions, 5 questions were rejected, but the researcher doesn't explain it in detail. Why those questions were rejected? There is some information in the appendix, but it is not detailed enough. Ideally, validation should be done by an expert panel, at least 3 people, and there should be pilot testing to test empirical validity with item analysis. Now, then in the reliability section, the researcher mentioned using iterative reliability by asking the teacher to correct. But there is no reliability coefficient report. We don't know the value of Cohen's kappa or the correlation coefficients. Without these numbers, we cannot assess how reliable this instrument is. What's more problematic? The same researcher who taught the experimental class also evaluate the test result. Next, in the research procedure section, the steps are quite clear: pre-test statement, then post-test. But something is not explained. How many times was the treatment conducted? How long was each session? And how was it ensured that the teacher consistently implement the KWL strategy? Next, it turned out in the threads of research section in the chapter 4, it is mentioned that treatment was only conducted twice. For the data analysis, the researcher using normality test, homogeneity test, and independency test, and this is appropriate. What is missing? The researcher didn't calculate effect size, such as Cohen's d effect size is important to know how large the treatment effect is particularly, not just it is statistically significant. And now the most critical part of this review, findings the statistical interpretation. Now on page 60, in this table, the t-test result. The researcher found t-count is 1967 and t-table 1671. Now because t-count is greater than t-table, the researcher concluded that HA is accepted, meaning there is a significant effect of the GWL strategy. Now, however, there is a serious interpretation error here. If we look at the actual SPSS output, which should have been attached the psych to Thailand values is 0.054 in conventional hypothesis testing. A result is considered statistically significant if the p-value is less than 0.05. Here, 0.054 is greater than 0.05. Now, means the research results are not significant statistically at the alpha level of 0.05. Now, the researcher's mistake was using the comparison of t-count versus t-table, which is the logic of a one-tiled test, when they should have used the p-value from the two-tiled test that appears in the SPSS output. So, the correct conclusion should be there is no statistically significant effect of the KWL strategy on reading comprehension at the 0.05 significant level. Or it could also be stated the effect of the KWL strategy approaches significant P is 0.055 but does not reach the conventional significant level. This doesn't mean the KWL strategy is not good. Perhaps with a lot simple, longer statement more than 2 times and more valid instruments. Now the result could be different. So unfortunately, this interpretation error carries through the conclusion in chapter 5, where it still states there is a significant effect. Alright, after this rather lengthy critical review, let me summarize a strength of this thesis. First, research topic is relevant to real field problems, and research structure is clear and systematic, and theoretical framework is comprehensive. Use statistical tools in appropriate. And researcher Hans Lee acknowledged research limitation. However, there are several critical weaknesses. Fatal statistical interpretation error. Treatment duration is too short, only 2 times. Instrument validity and reliability are not strong enough, and sampling technique is misidentified. No effect size calculation and critical analysis discussion is still limited. And improvement recommendations. First, most importantly, correct the statistical result interpretation using p-value, not just t-count versus t-table comparison, and and calculate and report effect size coherence D. And then, if possible, repeat the research with longer treatment, minimalist in 4 up to 6 sessions, stricter instrument validation, and large sample. The fourth, Strengthen the discussion section with more critical analysis. Overall, this research demonstrates good competence in conducting quantitative research. The structure is clear, procedure, and appropriate. However, the error in statistical interpretation is a serious problem that must be corrected before this thesis can be finally accepted. With revisions, especially in data interpretation and methodological transparency, this research can provide a stronger contribution to practice of teaching reading comprehension in Indonesia. That concludes my critical review this thesis. I hope this review can provide constructive feedback for research improvement. Thank you for your attention. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.